First this evening, let's queer up breaking news. Broward School Board votes 5-4 not to fire but suspend mother of transgender teen. The Broward School Board voted 5-4 to suspend Jessica Norton, a Monarch High employee, for 10 days instead of firing her. Norton allegedly allowed her transgender daughter to play girls' sports, violating the Fairness in Women's Sports Act. Norton expressed dismay, stating, quote, "I don't think that the decision for any suspension was correct," end quote. Though 4 board members appeared ready to fire her, the board chose a lesser penalty, allowing Norton to return to a lateral job without access to school records. Queer News Tonight has been following this story from the beginning. You know, we have been following this story from the beginning because it's right down the street, right? In Coral, where is it? Coral Springs, Coral what?
Coconut Creek.
Coconut Creek, one of those C's, right? And you know, we have been talking about this story for the last couple of months. And literally, I think it was on Monday or even last week, I sat in this chair and I said to the lady, to the mom, listen, you got to get a civil suit, right? These people put your daughter in danger, right? And so like the more that I start reading into the story and what's happened throughout, you know, we'll unpack a little bit of that with the comments of the other anchors. You know, I didn't know that the mother worked in records at the school, right? So she had access to these records. So they kind of allude to the fact that she changed some documents to have her daughter appear on paper as a woman that she is. You know, and them using this paperwork to allow her to continue in school as a woman and also go on the volleyball team, which is, you know, against that law or whatever the hell that Ron DeSantis wants us to follow. You know, so here we are now, and I had been saying, like, why does she want to stay at the school? They put her daughter in danger. But she did something that is against the law. She falsified some documents, basically, you know? So as much as I want to be on her side saying you're a good parent, you had to do what you had to do to defend your daughter at all costs. I'm with you there, girl, 100%. You still did something that was against the law and was against your job.
Yeah, and I agree with you, because as I read the story, I was totally on her side, and I still technically am on her side. But as the story went on and I started reading more and I started watching some of the interviews, she claimed to have done nothing wrong. And so I was like, girl, of course you did nothing wrong. But then you go further into it and you start realizing, like, she's the one that put her daughter in danger. She's the one who lied, and she's putting this back on the board, which we'll talk a little bit more about how kind of irate the board was as well. I think they went a little further than they needed to in terms of kind of the punishment or the suggested punishment. But I was like on her side until she says she did nothing wrong. I think she needs to kind of take a little bit of accountability for it, because now she's receiving death threats. Apparently the daughter is no longer in school.
Yeah.
And so this was her doing, this was her allowing her child, and of course we want her child to play sports as she chooses, but she knew what the law was. She knew it before she put her child in sports, and then she kind of, you know, went against the law. And so according to the law, you did wrong. So own up to it. And then maybe we can find another kind of resolution or solution for your daughter to go back into sports, or maybe another school, or do whatever it is that she needs to do to be happy.
Yeah. Well, DeSantis doesn't make it easy in the state of Florida. All right. William, do you think that her actions were just as a parent under the conditions that Florida's under right now?
Well, under the conditions, yes, but she had a responsibility to the school. She has an authority position, and she took advantage of it. That's not really fair to her. And what you did to her daughter is actually probably caused her more harm than helping her understand the person that she is and understand that everybody's in her favor.
Right.
Yeah.
But help protect her and show her how to be the right person and stand up for yourself.
You know, I think she probably did something and then was like, oh shit, it worked. And then was like, okay, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not gonna mention anything again. And then my daughter got to live her authentic life.
Her truth.
You know?
But not being truthful, because now she's teaching her daughter how to play this game.
Okay, but don't we have to play that game too, though, John?
We do. But what's scary is if you watch the debate in the boardroom, they said there was a criminal act. They wanted to put her in jail.
Yeah.
They said this is further than just a parent, you know, protecting their child. This is a criminal act because of what she did against the law. So now you're playing the game, but you're also playing with fire.
Yeah, I mean, suppose she went to jail. What are you going to do with her daughter?
Right, exactly.
You know? Yeah.
That's not a really good role model you want for your child, no matter who you are.
Yeah, but that board, like you said, that board was after her, 5-4.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, Danielle, how does this wash over you? You are an educator, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I know that I'm from Jersey too, right? I'm from Jersey. I'm from Passaic, the armpit of the United States. But I am a product of the public school system in Jersey, which ain't that bad in comparison to here. All right. So how does this wash over you?
I just feel, as a queer educator, so many emotions. A friend of mine, Chris Canella, he's a queer educator. He was on the sports team as the head coach. He was fired. This is in like the early mid '90s, and he always talks, about his story, especially the SOGI committee meetings. But it's sad. I'm thinking about the parent and like the desperate measures and like what led her to go to that point. Like, it could be just, the teen was being bullied, or maybe, something just escalated, but maybe even with the state law it's causing a lot of, just for parents to go through this.
And it's causing a lot for the kids to go through this. And if you're a parent and your kid is saying, I want to kill myself because I'm not being welcomed and I don't feel seen, right? You're going to do whatever the hell you can to make sure that doesn't happen.
And so the mother went to the same school the daughter, or worked at the same school the daughter went to.
Yes.
And this happened to my niece and her mother. And I wonder, like, if there's any kind of laws or regulations of having, your workplace be your daughter's schooling as well, because obviously there's going to be a little bit of bias. Obviously, you're going to be kind of involved in a kind of meticulous way.
Well, and especially if you're in records, like that was her job. She was administration kind kind of stuff.
And she changed the records. That's,
she must
supposedly,
have, she must have, allegedly.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, I want to see how this plays out. I am worried that she's not in school anymore. I'm glad she's not arrested. It's only a suspension, which is great. She can still provide for her daughter. But I am interested in knowing like what the future holds now, because this transpired. Because now they're gonna have to go back and say, well, this was able to happen. She changed the record, so now we have to have some sort of a law or some way to protect the records to not be altered.
Yeah.
And then also, furthermore, find a way where trans children are not going to be in sports they don't technically belong in.
Yeah.
It's going to ruin it for everyone,
It's
basically.
going to ruin it for everything. And it's ruined her last year of high school. I mean, I think she was in 11th grade. Don't quote me on that, folks at home. But still, everybody remembers high school. 11th grade is when you start, planning on graduating, right? Junior prom and homecoming and all that wonderful stuff that like you pulled her out of at that time. Like, yeah, she's probably going to homeschool now, but ugh, my heart feels for her.
Yeah.
It just feels for her. And now your mom's on the news and your mom almost lost her job.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a lot, little girl. You're going through a lot, and we're sending good energies your way. We hope this pans out in everybody's favor. I know your mom did what she had to do, or what she felt she had to. Unfortunately, it's fraud. Yeah. I know.
It's speak the truth.
I hate to speak the truth. It's just,
Yeah.
we're with you, Miss Norton. We're with you.